Already good Tuesday morning, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro. We are tracking some more snowfall here in your First Alert forecast. We've already had some snow moving through as of right now, but our second round of snow, that's still on the way for tonight. And that has prompted a First Alert weather day for us for tomorrow. So we do expect the Wednesday morning commute to be pretty messy and certainly take even longer for you than the commute did this morning from that snowfall. Now, before we get into the snow for tonight, I do want to just go over some of our traffic conditions here real quickly as well. So here's a look at your First Alert traffic map. Up north, we are seeing a mix of green and yellow on the map. This is certainly indicating some slower travel, especially around Hale and Whittemore right now, also between Gladwin and Standish on M61. We'll move the map a little bit farther south. You can actually see, for all intents and purposes, not doing too bad with these drive times around Mount Pleasant or the Bay region and even into the Thumb. Now, no doubt there are some slick spots in those areas too, but we aren't seeing any sort of major delays as of this point. Now, moving into Flint and Genesee County as a whole, you can actually still see a couple of darker spots on the map here. We do have some of these red areas. These are indicating where we have some crashes, so there are crashes both on southbound and northbound US 23 right now around the Fenton and Lake Fenton area. Also one crash south of Fenton. Now that is in northeastern Livingston County, but still that's an area where if you'll be traveling through there soon, you are going to encounter some slower travel as a result of those crashes in those spots. Now, the snow that we've had moving through here, we're already starting to get onto the tail end of this. So we still have a little bit of snow falling in the Bay region, even south towards Birch Run and Flint, and snow especially still falling into the southern portions of the Thumb and around Lapeer. And we also have some snow all across Iosco County right now too. So that's bringing some snowfall to Twining, Whittemore, and Hale, even around the Tawas Bay and the Ascota areas. So that's still going to add to those totals there, just a little bit more. Our system totals from the snowfall from this morning expected to range from an inch or two. So you can see here at this point we have less than an inch to go with any of the snowfall that's left. But the storm total from at least this morning should be about 1 to 2 inches. So for some of those spots up north especially, enough snow that you'll still need to clean off the car and possibly do a little bit of shoveling as well. But I do want to show you this here too. This is a live look at I-75 in Birch Run. So these are some of these conditions that you may experience soon if you'll be heading out there. Notice how the centermost lane, that does still have snow coverage on it, but the center lane itself and then the outside lane, that is still looking good for us as of this point. We are also tracking similar conditions, at least near Flint on I-75. That's right at Miller Road in Flint Township. So we're looking from the Vehicle City Harley-Davidson camera. You can see their traffic's still going a little bit slower than normal, but I-75 itself actually doesn't look too bad there as of this point. And then that is downtown Flint across the bricks. So also sort of the case there too. The roads have been clearing up somewhat quickly for us here, but again, more snow is on the way for tonight, and that system that we have moving through for tonight, that is going to end up bringing more snowfall to our area. So with tonight's snow, that's going to add roughly about another 3 to 6 inches of snow for most of mid-Michigan. A little bit of rain may still come into play, but I will say compared to the forecast from yesterday, we actually are expecting the rain to stay a little bit farther south. And while I still think some of that will come right here into mid-Michigan, it may end up not impacting as much of our area as we were previously seeing. So that is something that we'll be taking a look at here after we just take one quick break. And we'll talk some more details for the timing of that snowfall for tonight and also take a look at that totals map. So that's coming up here very shortly. Alrighty, welcome back from that break. We are going to be tracking some more snowfall in the forecast for tonight. The snowfall for tonight is going to be the second round after this first round that we've just had for this morning. But the snow that we have for tonight has prompted a first alert weather day for tomorrow. The reason being for that is especially our roadways. We do expect much more messy travel tomorrow morning, potentially some school impacts out of this as well. But there's a live look again at your first alert pinpoint Doppler. So here's that snow currently moving across mid-Michigan. This is that first round, which actually should be ending during the early afternoon. I think even some areas like Saginaw or Flint, for example, this snow will likely be done by noon, if not even a little bit earlier. But for the most part, the snowfall should be completely out of the TV5 area by about 2 or 3 at the latest this afternoon. After that, we do follow a little bit of a break here as we go towards the late afternoon, right around that dinner time frame as well. But then right after that, we have our next round of snowfall picking up. So especially after 9 to 10 o'clock this evening, that's when that second round moves in. And again, that is what has prompted that first alert weather day. So take a look at this here. 3 to 6 inches of snow for most of the TV5 viewing area, but anyone who does see some rain mixing into the south, that'll be cutting into those totals just a little bit. So closer to about 1 to 3 inches with this. So again, with this amount of snow, I know that this is still not exactly a very extreme amount of snow by any means, especially by mid-Michigan standards, but it's more so the timing of this snowfall that's going to provide those issues for tomorrow, especially with it being during the work week here. So tomorrow morning, a lot of you will still be commuting to work or possibly taking your students out to the bus stops or school as well. And like I was saying before the break, I think it's definitely possible we could see some school impacts out of this snowfall for tonight as well. That's something that still, of course, remains to be seen, but I think it is at least possible. And I do just want to at least think back with some context to the snow that we had just 2 weekends ago. Even though that was during the weekend, that was during Thanksgiving weekend. With that snowfall, it was a very similar time frame to this one, and we did see quite a bit of slow travel in the morning on Sunday once we started to get towards the tail end of that system. So we expect something very similar with this system as well. So I'll take you back here to our graphics and we'll take you right to the snowfall map here. I think this is very important to just point out here, again, how that rain is going to be impacting some of these snow totals. So right now, approximately anywhere south of that line, which goes from Ithaca, right near Chesaning and Birch Run, near the Fostoria area and into the Southern Thumb, pretty much anywhere south of that line is where a little bit of rain could mix into the snowfall. So we expect that to cut back on those totals a bit, closer to about 1 to 3 inches, but anywhere north of that line, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. So that's pretty much across the entire thumb, the Bay region, towards central Michigan, and any of our northern counties as well. So again, 3 to 6, I know it's not an extreme amount of snow, but definitely still enough that it provides some inconveniences for your morning commute tomorrow, and still enough snow that you'll have some shoveling and some snow blowing to do by the afternoon, because during the afternoon, the snowfall will be leaving mid-Michigan, but certainly still a decent measurable snowfall on the way for us. So here's that first alert hour by hour by 10 o'clock this evening. So you already see the snow starting to move in from the southwest. As we go towards 2 o'clock in the middle of tonight, the snow is widespread completely across all of the TV5 areas. So this will be just a widespread, steady snowfall that'll be lasting for nearly the entire night. And then there we are towards about 6 in the morning tomorrow. So you see this right here, how we have some of that rain coming up around Owasso and Chesaning, even into the Flushing and Swartz Creek areas. Flint is one area too that would eventually see that rain moving a little bit farther east into there. And I'll actually fast forward the hour by hour to about 7 in the morning tomorrow. So again, notice that cutoff between the snow and the rain. So anywhere north of that rain snow line, it'll just be all snowfall, which it looks like that line comes in right around the Birch Run and the Chesaning areas, and then to the south of there, a brief period of about 2 or 3 hours of rainfall. So that's as those temps there come just above freezing, up to about 34 or even 35 degrees for a couple of hours. But as we go towards the mid-morning, about 9 in the morning tomorrow, you notice how even those areas that had the rain, the snow will fill back in because those temps will drop back off a few degrees, and that's actually pretty much the trend for the rest of the afternoon on Wednesday. Those temperatures will be steadily falling back into the 20s, and the system snowfall will be out of here by then, so the afternoon relatively much quieter than the morning, but we'll still hold on to some of that cloud coverage. And it is worth pointing out here in the First Alert 7-day forecast as well that we'll be staying cold. We stay in the 20s after today and tomorrow, and even this weekend. For the most part, temps will be staying in the upper teens with overnight lows in the single digits. So it is going to be particularly cold again for the weekend, but that means all of the snow that's falling for us will be sticking around. So it looks like it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. So just adding more to that snowpack that we already have on the ground, kind of a good base that we have on the ground already as well. Also on Saturday, there is a chance for some light snow that could move in there. We'll certainly wait for this system that we have tonight to leave our area, because that also helps to free up some of our forecast models as well. But we have seen at least a few signals that we could potentially see a little bit more light widespread snow on Saturday this weekend. With the snowfall, again, certainly safety of the utmost importance. So for your drive tomorrow, we just want you to know that you will need extra time. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Roads are going to be messy, but at least on the flip side of this too, for any of you who work in snow removal, I know this is definitely still a good thing to see, because it does mean some more business on the way as well. And for snowmobilers and skiers, this is also just some good news to still see more of the snow and the cold in the forecast. So it means that the snow will be sticking around. So if you do enjoy the winter activities, this is certainly still an enjoyable forecast that we have. But we do want you to drive safely tomorrow morning. And that's the reason for that First Alert weather day, is just because of the travel impacts largely that we're going to be seeing from this system. So as we go throughout the remainder of today, especially now that we're in this window of high-resolution model data, we keep getting fresh model runs pretty much on the hour now as of this point. So as we get closer to the system, if we have any more adjustments that we need to make, we will be the first to let you know about that here. And meteorologist Diane Phillips will also have a live stream coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And that live stream at 2 o'clock this afternoon, she'll have some of the latest model data there too. And if we have to make any adjustments with the snowfall, she'll have any updates if we end up needing to update that map. But certainly she'll have another look at everything too later on today at 2 o'clock right here on all these same channels for the live stream. But until then, we hope you drive safe for the rest of this morning, and we hope that you have a great Tuesday ahead of you as well.